Okay, so next we are going to have Mike Markley, who is one of our, I think is our newest published author. So first of all, congratulations to Mike. Mike is from Joliet, and just recently, about a month or so ago, published his first novel, Necessary Death. I can say it is on my winter reading list, and I'm looking forward to it. Mike has been writing for most of his life, and tends to write crime fiction, and tonight he's going to read the prologue for his novel. Mike, thank you.
Good evening. Steve pressed the barrel of the gun to the back of Rhino's head. His arm twitched. He had never killed before. This would be the first. The fact that Rhino had been his mentor and had been like a father to him didn't make it any easier. It seemed impossible to pull the trigger. Did he really want to taint his life with murder? The thick muscles of Rhino's neck and the wide shoulders tensed. Would a single bullet truly collapse such a stocky man? Yes. Yes, it would. No matter how big Rhino was, it wouldn't stop the bullet from sending him face first onto the chilled concrete floor. Steve sniffed. The stale air carried a musty odor. Dampness hung around him. Old oil and bloodstains splattered the floor. Cobwebs filled the corners of the rafters, while dust collected everywhere. Spiders laid their trap to catch their next victim. The irony flirted with Steve's thoughts, but there was nothing humorous in the old garage tonight. You are responsible for the horror and the brutality that is legendary for this old garage, Steve said. What has happened here in the past, that has all happened here in the past, but unfortunately for you, the past has returned. Don't take it personally, it's just business. He pulled the trigger. The shot resounded, and the vibration shook dust from its rafters. Rhino fell forward and landed with a thud. The shot was louder than Steve had expected. Maybe it was the empty garage, or maybe he was just more scared and nervous than he thought he was. The bullet's impact splattered skull fragments and brain matter. Something slid down Steve's cheek, and he wiped it off with his right hand. Rhino's big, bad, lifeless body looked like a pile of... Shouting came from outside. Steve raised his .45 semi-automatic, and Kevin opened the door. You did it! Shouting... Kevin stood at even 5 feet, and his small stature made him seem incapable of doing the job he was recommended to help do. His jet black hair and brown eyes made him look even younger than the 25 years his driver license said he was. He could never stand still and would always be rocking back and forth. It drove Steve crazy. What do you think? Didn't you hear the shot? Steve responded abruptly. You need to shut up and relax. I thought maybe you scare him a little bit and make him beg for his life. You know, like in the movies. Kevin circled around the body of the floor, checking out the legend they used to call Rhino. This wasn't the movies. And it wasn't Hollywood either. This was real. As Steve cleaned the gun and Kevin wrapped the body in plastic, Steve's mind went back to the last words he said to Rhino. Couldn't he have thought of something more creative? He tried to shake that thought from his mind. This was not the mafia or the mob. This was not the way things were done anymore, but Rhino changed that. Again, Steve thought, maybe the past has returned. Titan wanted Rhino dead, but Michael, Rhino's brother, ran Titan, like the mob. There was the Hormata, the code of silence, the old saying, once in, you're in for life. No turning back, and of course, the idea of family first. You never turn your back on your family. Well, when word got out about this, the game would change. What had Steve just gotten himself into? They killed only to protect. In the early days, they used intimidation and threats, physical threats. That's why they kept the garage. But Rhino took care of that side of it, and only Rhino. Hurry up, Steve commanded. In the middle of their cleanup, feet crushed gravel outside, and someone made a shushing sound on the other side of the wall. Steve and Kevin darted to the secret crawl space. Once inside, Kevin hissed, "Don't forget to pull the drawstring." "Shut up, will you? I'm not a fool." Steve pulled the rope, and a load of dirt dropped from the floor of the rafters and filled the crawl space. Now, if someone was to find the trap door and open it, it would just look like a bunch of dirt. They followed the dark and chilly underground tunnel. Steve crawled behind Kevin, spitting out the dirt he kicked up. The tunnel was filled with cobwebs. "Where is this leading us to?" Kevin wiped the cobwebs from his face. "It will take us to an old junkyard that has a shanty disguised as a boiler. It gives the impression that it's uninhabitable. The rule is we stay there for 24 hours. "I hate that rule," Kevin sounded like a child. "Tough. That's what we got to do. Now shut up and move." They made it to the shanty and settled in. With time on his hands, all Steve could think about was what has just transpired. He had seen Ronald's brother 24 hours ago. Did he really just take another life? Then it hit him. They had left the body behind. What would happen now? Who was outside the garage? What would they do when they found the body? When they found out who the victim was, they would wonder who had the power to take the life of such a high-profile member of Titan. The more he contemplated about it, the more powerful he felt. "I will make a name for myself," he thought. "I will be the one known as the one who took down the great rhino." He smiled. The smile grew on his face the more he reflected upon it. He was now a killer. No one would touch him. He would have the group on his side. Well, everyone but Rhino's brother. Michael and Steve started working on their next move.
Of course, the moral to that reading is, it's never a good thing when somebody says to you, "It's not personal, it's just business." That's always a red flag, right? Thank you very much.